Which button? Hello, guys.
Wait. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Stream. It's a DarMar, episode 37. Serge Punchev, my friend from Bulgaria. He is an expert for UI design, and I brought him here because he is totally different from anything that I had. And I finally have a guest that does something interesting outside of the concept art as I was promising to you. Hi Sergey, my friend.
Hello, DarMar. How are you, man? Yeah, it's a pleasure, by the way, to be in your how to say it? Like, is it a video
Company.
cast? Is it no? Is it a
Highness,
podcast?
my
Videocast?
highness, my prince highness, that no.
Yes. By the way, tell the audience, please, who actually gave you the title?
Yeah, I tell it that tell that every stream that Bulgarians gave me the title, and but officially I can say that Sergey was the official and Miro Petrov were the two guys that gave the Prince DarMar nickname to me.
Yes, from the distant country of Serbia.
Yeah, distant country. We are 200 kilometers away from each other, like.
Yeah, the interesting fact is like for the people who don't know that is I think for 3 hours and a half driving we can basically meet each other in one of the cities, either Bulgarian or Serbian. So it's very close neighbor. I can
Yeah,
tell
you were in Belgrade. You were my guest. I really loved having you as a guest in Belgrade, and I
Thank you,
hope
man.
you had a
Thank
lot
you.
of fun while you were here.
Oh, you were such a by the way, how to say, like host. You were amazing, and we loved it, and we probably will come over once again. This COVID, how to say, like COVID pandemic is going to end. So.
I'm still for that Bulgarian Serbian bus where we're gonna drive from Sofia to Belgrade, but we need to visit you when this all ends and visit Bulgaria, Sofia, because we really consider you friends. You know that we always tell you that, and we really love to come to Sofia to see everything, how's the situation there, and yeah.
I'm gonna cry, man. I'm gonna cry.
Don't cry, we
Really.
are alive, man. We are alive. I
But,
know it's
yeah,
2020,
yeah.
but you're on
Man up, man
Balkan.
up.
You're on Balkan, man. Don't cry here still.
Man up, Sergey, man up. But yeah, this is interesting story though. We want to have a bus that basically we're gonna be superstars, in the concept
The
art
Playboy
world.
bus,
So,
actually. We stole the idea from that. Let's be
yes,
honest.
exactly.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen, but it was in my head only, like a superstars of design. So, Sergey, you do UI, right?
Yes. So basically, I'm. If I need to introduce myself with a few
Introduce
words.
yourself a little bit. I will just say, except that you are my friend, he does UI and graphic design for some of the biggest companies in the world, and he worked for a very long time. He's very experienced, around 15 years of experience, if you can imagine
Like
that.
50, more like 50.
It feels like 50, but it's 15, and they worked on some amazing titles. They're experts in this. Besides UI, Sergey is also expert for business side of design.
Oh, thank you.
So I talked with him in the beginning when I was starting out. He gave me some tips. That was 2017, if you can imagine, 16. So yeah, you can now make a short introduction and please tell us, what do you do?
Oh, thank you. So first of all, I want to say that without the amazing team that I have at the moment, nothing will be the same. So I'm not anymore alone. I have a team of amazing artists at the studio. We are everybody's at home at the moment. So, but the thing is, I started as senior artist in a few big companies a long time ago. After that, it was very organic, by the way. My how to say growth, if I can say that, is it was like starting from the normal, position in senior artist in the studio. After that, I came to Bulgaria from London, from Maxis division. I work for EA Games for Sims titles, as you can see in the website. And when I moved here, I decided basically to stop trying to find a job and start, doing a service to promote a service, which was the best decision I had at the time. So I started as a contractor. At one point, I had lots of clients, more than I can handle, and then the business starts because I needed to hire people to work with, and so on and so on. And we started working with freelancers first, and now I have in-house guys which are amazing. I can say that these guys are the best team I worked with. So guys, thank you very much to work with me, and hope we achieve, and how to say, like, first hope we survive this pandemic, and after that we don't
You will survive pandemic. I mean, take some
yeah.
rakia and everything's gonna be okay. But you are an owner now, a director or owner of Punchev Studio that has how many people? You never mentioned. You just said
It's
they're
so
amazing.
we
How
are
many?
we are yes, we are six people in house,
Okay.
and we work with freelancers, which are outside, which are numerous, because we basically have a big, how to say, database with freelancers who are helping us occasionally, and we are choosing them for the style that they do. So but yeah, six core people which direct and do, because we are working not for one title. Usually we work for up to 4, 5, 6 titles. It happened once, so it's like too much
Yeah.
overload.
I can imagine like working on that many projects. I work maximum 3, but I can imagine 6. Even if you have
Yeah,
people
it's
under
difficult.
you working on 6 projects, that's like what?
I have, man, I have one. I want to say thank you, Elita. So Eli is my general in the studio. So she is amazing person and extremely good artist. And she is, without her, is like, I probably will not succeed to handle that much. But she is amazing, and rest of the team as well. So
So what does Elise do? She's also UI designer or she's a manager. How I want to talk a little bit. How did you hierarchy your company? So
yeah.
who's doing what? What's happening? Are you still designing or you quit on that? You're now director that leads the projects. What's happening
Yeah.
there?
So I will tell you. I will answer on the first, actually second question. Do I still design? No, unfortunately, I don't. I am only managing. My function at the moment is art directing. Part of, because Elitsu is the art director at the moment, and communication with clients. So it's marketing, communication, emails, all the contracts and stuff like that, because this is also a huge part, managing the payments, because it's a small company. Let's face it, in a small company like ours, people are having few titles at one. I mean, like, for example, for me as owner, also I'm doing some of the accounting, because I have an accountant
Yeah.
which is outside company, who is handled that. But until the moment they get the invoices I'm sending, I need to collect everything. I need to make all the talk with the clients, and so on and so on. Plus some of the art direction. So we don't have a strong structure. I don't believe in the strong structure as in the rest of the companies. For example, one guy is only the producer, one guy is something else. What we do, basically, all of us can do the same stuff. I was inspired, by the way, from McDonald's. Sounds funny, but my career in design,
Okay.
my career in design. Look at this. My career in design started from McDonald's, dude. So I am proud, that I started selling sandwiches, which is absolutely amazing at back
It's
in the time. So
it's very it's very strange and different. What happened there? How did you start from McDonald's? Did you study? I don't know that story.
yeah,
Can you tell us that story?
yeah, yeah. So it's interesting because I'm trained artist from 6 years old. I mean, like, my father, he's an architect, and good one,
You never
very good
told me
one. And
that. We are not
really,
friends anymore. We are not friends anymore.
because we're always drunk at the festivals, dude. We need to stop drinking at the festivals and
I don't
start
remember
talking, man.
anything, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
You never told me your father is an architect.
Yes, he's an architect, very good one, very good mathematician as well, and also he's drawing amazing stuff. For me, he's more like a concept artist, like old school concept artist, because the stuff that he showed me when I was, like a little boy, he was like showing me amazing stuff, like how to think, basically how to do concepting in the way of not just particular not in particular way, in the way of thinking, which was very very strong and a very good thing for me at back in the time. So I was having a jump, like very good jump.
Yeah,
uh,
that's I can imagine like having that at your house. Of course, if you're interested, because you know that children mostly don't want to do same things as their
yeah.
family. That's how it goes on Balkan. So, so so
Yeah.
so so yeah, you made a little bit step from the architecture. You did UI design and stuff like that. For example.
He actually tried. My path was basically, I started with they put me in this like going to from 6 years old. I go to different how to say, schools, not schools, but basically uh,
Elementary schools or courses?
workshops. It's
Courses,
more like
courses.
a courses, workshops, more like a workshops for
Okay.
drawing.
Okay, that's
so
interesting. Very young. Like how
so
old?
so 6 years old. So in Vidin, one of the cities, because my father is from there, they have one of the best art gallery, and the artist there was also teaching and making workshops for kids. So they put me there, and I started drawing, like from this early age. After that, I moved to the city Dragoman, which you're very familiar because on the border with Serbia.
Yeah.
And I moved in the seventh grade. I think I moved to Sofia, studied traditional art in our National School of Fine Arts. And after that, I moved to basically technical university that I almost finished your specialty, which was transportation design and product design. Uh, I actually have like 3 exams to take, I think.
You still didn't finish
Less
3 exams. Come on,
exams.
man. What the hell?
3 exams, and yeah, and the diploma, the diploma work. But yeah, this is a part of my life that I don't want to speak
Okay, you don't need to speak about that part of life because it's scary and very dark, I can imagine. But now, since it's Corona, you have a job to do, and that's to finish those 3 exams. So when we come to Sofia, when Serbians come to Sofia, we will come and prepare the celebration, everything. I want you to wear that hat, like in the movies, like Oxford, they wear everything, and you throw it
Of
in there.
course, of
So,
course.
so that's the plan now. The bus changed to that immediately.
What I will do though, I will probably take an animal and like put it in like big dinner for you, man, and all the wine in the world and stuff like that. So it will be like ancient celebration thing.
Oh, we can do that. I know that Bulgarians put meat on the swords. I want to do that.
Yes, yes, this is I think our thing.
But so you finished transportation design and you went to graphic design. This is
No,
super interesting
no,
to
no.
me.
That's not exactly the story. So what I did actually is because this was the in Bulgaria back exactly this period was super. Like we were very poor. We had some government issues. Everyone was basically fighting for their food, right? And I was studying at the same time, and I needed to start working somewhere because my parents, they basically said like, okay, you're old enough and to start working and to support the family, so we start doing that. And I started working in one McDonald's was the first. I will tell you about this story probably later. And after that, I started doing clip arts, which was super strange because the company that I worked in was managed by one person that was award winner of Coral Draw competitions, and he was basically very famous Bulgarian that was doing vector graphics, right? And he took me without any knowledge, basically. I knew how to do vectors, like not very good, and he spent, let's say, a year to work with me to teach me the stuff, the super awesome stuff, how to do vectors and clip arts. Because the clip arts was the interesting for the clip arts, by the way, was that this is serial images, right? And you need to follow style, which is something that we apply in the UI nowadays. So he basically teach me everything I know for the graphic design. And he this was my second job, right? He gave me this knowledge to how to follow style, how to make images from one family, which, if you think of, is everything, right? If you have a concept art with let's say few characters for the game, you need to make them in the same style. If you have if you are doing a typeface, you need to make every letter in the same style, and so on and so on. So this was my actual jump, and my brother was my third jump. If I need to say that. So these three keystones, right? These three keystones was something that basically made me what I am today. Yeah.
McDonald's, your brother, and
no, my father.
No,
my
I'm
father.
joking. I want
McDonald's
to
sandwiches, McDonald's French fries, and Coke.
It sounds like a commercial for Powerpuff Girls. You know, a little bit spice, everything nice, and then you blend until you get Sergey. So,
yes.
I wanted to say that because I wanted to mention you also have a brother that does ZBrush courses, and I met him in Varna, Bulgaria. He's a very cool guy.
Yes, he is the best part of our family. So I always say, like, I'm the smartest and he is the ugliest. So.
Oh my God! Okay, yeah. That's a pure brotherly love. so
I'm kidding, of course.
What's the name? What's the name of that guy that taught you vector stuff and everything? What's his name? Are you still in contact with him?
No. His name is Vasilev.
Okay.
I think he is doing at the moment because he was also very passionate in the woodwork, right? And he at the moment he's doing some like kids furnishing stuff. This is his business, but Valentin is the first name of this guy, Valentin Vasilev. You can check him. He was super famous in vector graphics back in the days, right? By the way, some of the clip arts from the discs of CorelDRAW 13 are my work.
No.
And also, some of the icons on the UI as well.
Awesome! That's so cool. Like you were there, you were in it before it was cool. You know, the years before it all started to explode.
So he was, because of him, because he won these competitions. He was a contractor for them, like one of the major providers for their content, the graphics and stuff like that. Because they always, if people are not familiar with CorelDRAW, they sell their product with discs with content as well. Like fonts, like back in the days. I don't know how it's now, probably cloud-based service or something like that. But he was having a contract with them, and we needed to produce the stuff. So it's his fault, to enter in this. But the cool thing of these clip arts was that they was optimized for a cutting machine. Plotter is the name in Bulgarian. No, probably
it's in English also. Plotter, like the one that cuts out everything.
Yes,
2D, yeah.
Because his major business to sell these stamps for motorcycles, flames, this kind of stuff. So this was the second biggest thing in his business, to selling this stuff in the USA. So we did lots of those flames, illustrations, and so on and so on.
And how did you decide to move to a specific area, and that's UI for games? What led you to there?
It wasn't exactly decision. No, it was this is why I said my third keystone was my brother, because my brother always he was the smartest guy, and he was finding the best jobs, because I actually, if I need to be honest with you, I started with very shitty jobs, right? And I claimed to the position of working in the game industry. My brother, though, he was first. His first job was making hard surface modeling. He was 15 years old, by the way, and he was doing like for commercials, TV commercials. We have one very big brand here, Technopolis, and this was for their commercials, right? For like moving phones, 360 rotations of some of the products that they was selling. And
Yeah.
he did like, I don't know, 40 something models for them. And he was extremely good in modeling in 3D Studio Max. And in one point, he ended up in the first game company, biggest game company for MMORPG games in Bulgaria. There were three game companies, I think, before Gameloft, before Ubisoft came here. Um, so one of them, he started working, and they actually liked him as a technical guru, technical guy. And they wanted, they searched for, because at this point nobody actually knew how to draw a concept art, how to make interfaces, how to 3D model objects for games. And every one of us, Miru Petrov, and lots of the names at the moment in Bulgaria, we started in this company. And my brother, he said, okay, in the company, they have position for UI art. Do you know anything about it? Yes. I was like, okay, no, man, really, I can, but you can do icons, right? And the lucky thing was that I actually did like hundreds of icons, actually 100 icons per day for this guy, Valentin. So I was very good creating icons. Only this, nothing like UX, no knowledge about game engines, nothing. And he said, okay, come to the studio, because they basically will have interview with you. They want to bring a team. Uh, Nobody knows what they're doing. They want just to bring a team of good perspective artists, and to teach them how to do this, and basically to try to create a big game like MMORPG game. And I went. They gave me a test. I spent like, I don't know, hours on that, and I did the test. Was awful. I actually keep my test somewhere on the hard drive.
You have it on the wall as a wallpaper to remind you of the starting of career.
Dude, I'm not. I don't know how these people hired me. Seriously.
Well, they needed somebody, that's for sure, and you appeared at the right time.
Yes, and because my brother again, because the guy there, the art director, he's one big. Right now, he's in Germany. Is in, I think, in Koch Media, which is extremely big structure, and he's a senior art director. But he was a selection. How say the guy who is making the selection?
HR. That was they chose.
No. He was good. Yeah, but he was art director. Good in like
they pick up people. Yeah. He was choosing who comes.
Yes, and he basically, his idea was bring brothers. Right, we were probably 3 pair of brothers there.
What?
Me and my brother, seriously, dude. Because he wants and friends, brothers and friends, like that. And because they're close, right, to each other already. So he was basically knew that this is a good bond for the team, and that's why he actually said like, okay, we are very happy with your brother. He's amazing. So we are not so sure about you, but we're gonna take you, and we're gonna see how it goes.
We will find out very soon.
Yeah, no, actually, they gave me 6 months. I didn't know anything, so I started learning everything. Yeah, basically, you're showing probably the most fucked up project at the moment that we worked on.
Not grab.
Yeah. Do you know that the logo? We had a version, but they didn't like it. That there are 2 hands of the squirrel are trying to reach the nut. It's like exactly nut grab, but they didn't. But okay, so
It's an
back
interesting
to
project for sure.
yeah,
Back to the story, but we will come back to the nut grab.
to the nut grab, yeah. So back to the story. Uh, they took me for my because of my brother. I always say that. And because of me and my passion to stay and learn, I basically claimed to the position of senior UI artist. And after that, I became good and went to UK. They extracted me to UK. So if you remember these days, because you're almost my generation,
Yeah,
there was no YouTube. There was no like resources, courses,
nothing,
workshops,
nothing,
nothing.
literally nothing.
I think was only GNOME workshop
CG
and
Talk, CG Talk,
CG
3D
Talk
Total.
and forums. Yeah, and some of the
What was the
forums.
name of that graphic design forum? There used to be graphic design forum. It was really famous. Behance existed. No, Behance came out in
Grafio,
2006. What?
Grafio? No, this is Bulgarian one.
No, no, no.
You
There
mean
was
the massive black one, right? They started it. I can remember.
there was some graphic design, but I
Yes,
can't remember which one it was. But yeah, I
yes,
remember
yes,
when forums were big thing.
yes.
Somehow I miss them because people would give feedback much easier, and it was more polite, and many other things.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. Depends on the forum though, because Bulgarian forum was like they want to rip you off. I am a new graphic designer. Please see my stuff. And they're like, okay, you shit.
But you need that as an artist. I'm always saying that that's advantage of Balkan. You're not put in a blanket and told that you're best in the world. Everybody wants to attack you here, and I think that's advantage for us because we are we judge our work a lot. It's same in
Yes.
Serbian forums. They want to kill you, stab you, and everything. Like, who are you? Go away! And this is shit. And then you start thinking about it. But if you think about it, the design is very harsh. You need to be very, I can't say disrespectful to yourself, but you need to question yourself all the time.
Yes, agree with you. And also, you need to have a hard time. What I notice is like the best of probably almost of the best artists I know, they had some sort of hard time. Economy, because of economy, family thing, or rather. But this is probably something that's the ingredient um, to start, to sitting on your ass and start working. That's the thing.
Many people think they are having hard times until they really have hard times. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. I never discussed my private life on Facebook or anything like that. I mentioned from my career and stuff, but that kind of hard moments in your life, like really hard, they make you want never to come back to them. And until you reach them, I mean, there are some people who are successful even without them, but when you reach them, you just want to go away from them. That's my experience, and you never want to come back, and that's why people who had hardships work so hard.
Yes, absolutely agree. It's but yeah, I think it's the probably the best thing that I say to all of the people I try to teach them something is forget for everything else than the work. You need to work. It's not like someone is giving you this from above, or you're a super genius. Everyone needs to sit down and for me this was the clip arts, because I did 12,000 clip arts for 2 years.
Yeah.
So can you imagine
that's like really a lot.
And they were super polished, right? Vector graphics, and we used. I even started writing scripts to optimize my work, because it was very good business thing. This guy was paying per clip art some cents, right? And in order to make money, I needed to be more productive and more productive. And that was the thing that basically like pushed me. And I really started making, like, for the economy level back in the days. I started making money. So it was something that is, I don't know. Nowadays artists are, I think, spoiled a bit because they have everything on the table, right? They have YouTube tutorials. The job is easy. Software is making lots of the.
But I think I can't say they are spoiled. Every generation has spoiled children, a normal one. I just observation now when you said that, and this is an excellent topic, and I'm really happy that you mentioned that. So to earn the money, you had to make a lot of work because he was paying cents for a clip art. You need to make a lot to produce. You're underpaid. You're underpaid because you're making trillions of them, like but that's the only mentality to succeed. One more mentality that I see in this industry when it comes not just to students, to professionals who are already a couple of years. Why would I work? I don't have a good computer. I'm not paid enough. I'm this, I'm that. And it's always justification why you are not doing it. You had a choice. You could have said, oh my God, I'm not paid enough for this, I will stop. But if you are working in that manner where you work hard, if you want to change, eventually the things will start to shift to your side because life works like that. And I see today kids who want immediately ILM, immediately anything high end, and that's not possible. That's not possible because if you see the best artists in the industry, they've been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years, sacrifice their lives for it, and that's how it works. You need to stop justifying why you don't have something and to justify that you should have more, because at that moment you can get more. But if you continue pushing, the doors will start opening. That's how it works.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. It's or at least was our, it's again back in the days. Now the mechanics are the needs are different. Studios they basically expand. They need more working hand, and so on and so on. So I don't know how it's today, but in our cases was exactly that. You need to climb up to to make your way to the industry, right? So yeah, so my actually first cool job was in the game industry. No, if I count the clip arts, of course, but the game industry was I basically fall in love because and until now I'm working in this industry. I will not change the industry for nothing because for me this is the big love. Making games is super important because I met, by the way, best friends there. Miro Petrov, as I said, amazing illustrator. Check this guy. It's crazy good.
Speaking about that, I can't believe when you started talking about games, my Counter-Strike popped up. I didn't close that I'm online, and it just popped up. And I was like,
"This is the government, man. The sound."
No, that's actually Miro Petrov.
Of course.
Look
at this guy. He's not exactly a friend. Sorry for you. He's not a friend. He needs to listen to our stream. What kind of friend is playing Counter-Strike?
I don't know what kind of friend is playing Counter-Strike, but maybe he's listening in the behind. You know that he plays games with the music and stuff like that on.
Yes.
You know how it goes with Miro. He's a crazy man when it comes, but Miro is a very nice guy. He's a friend of yours also, and he's a super cool dude.
Exactly. You need to. Did you actually? You need to make a series.
Sorry, what I need?
Cast him as well.
Maybe in the future. I asked him already a couple of times. Maybe in the future.
Absolutely.
He doesn't want to come. He doesn't like me. I tell him that every day. You don't love me.
By the way, this work is Nemanya's work. Can you show this? Yes, Nemanja helped us with these logos.
Really, with this with the Unleash.
Yes, Nemanja, if you hear us, thank you, man. This was crazy good.
Nemanja, why are you helping to Bulgarians? We said we will not help. We will pretend we are their friends, but don't help them. You know how it works. This looks amazing. This looks amazing.
Yeah, we needed help. He helped us, and the logo was going, like crazy good, and people loved it.
This, by the way, reminds me of Corona. I don't know why, but like it's a virus, you know.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
So let's talk about that a little bit. You spoke about collaboration with Nemanja. Let's talk. How does your collaboration work with outside of the studio people?
Well, again, depends on the. So before I start with core team, I was with working with freelancers, and I was the guy who actually was, managing the artwork. So basically, overpaint, do the correction, and stuff like that. For me personally, if someone wants to start an outsource studio, he needs a team that can cover the work from the freelancers, because freelancers are extremely good if you need like helping hand. But it's better for sure to have guys in house, because they basically like they work with you, they eat with you, they spend all the time with you, so they know exactly how you think, and you basically multiply yourself, right? And you produce much more quality work with that. So my philosophy at the moment is one team that is handling work inside and the freelancers and prep it up for the client, and lots of hand outside. So this is like a formula for me that works now. But if you ask me, in specific how this works, basically, I had back in the days a system. So I was spoken with the client. Client gives me brief. I'm finding the person that can suit the style and project, needs. And I'm talking with this person. Always, I'm trying to find a feedback guy, not feedback, a backup because usually some of the freelancers, they, for example, for at the middle of the project, they say like, okay, I have another thing to do. They're not so serious, some of them. So what I always did is to have a backup. Let's say guys are working simultaneously on the same logo, right? And also
Interesting.
this is cool because this gives you a variety, and you can send to the client more versions. And I use the same, by the way, the same system with the in-house team as well. When we have a concepting phase, let's say you have a UI and you need to find the style of the UI. We all together work on everyone is working different style, because we collect, let's say, 4, 5, 6 styles at the end, and the guy who is on the style, I mean, the client says like, okay, I like this particular, and the guy who did the style, he is the project owner. He start working basically on this project, and the rest of the guys, they're helping him out, like if they have time and so on. And the same I use for the freelancers, right? Use like 2, 3 freelancers to work on one project, to send variations and variants. And when client says, okay, this guy is starting working on the actual project.
Let's touch that subject. You've been working with freelance designers for quite a while, and you have experience in business. I worked with freelance designers recently because I hired some for the Inside 44 and for some projects, and I had also very, very, very bad experiences with some of them.
Unfortunately, this is, yeah, exactly.
But it opened my eye. It literally opened not my third eye, but my eyes, and it opened my eyes because I finally got the answer why some of the artists in the industry are successful and some are not, because of their approach to business.
And discipline.
Discipline, definitely. That's one of the fascinating things about art, and the whole story around it, the bubble around it. Many people start studying art because they are like, I don't know what I will do. Art seems easy. I will do that. That's the first bubble, and then they come and they realize that art is maybe one of the hardest things in the world to do, because it drains your energy from inside of the body, not just your physical energy but emotional and other stuff. I'm not gonna go too much into that. The second bubble that's around art is you can't earn money from it, and whole generations grew up on that. Whole generations grew up, and both are very untrue. Both are very untrue. You can have quite comfortable life, but quite you would lose a lot of time. But speaking about freelancers, my experience was that I had someone working with me, and person was paid, didn't deliver, plus was rude because didn't deliver.
Mm-hmm.
And I trusted enough not to sign the contract because I was like, we know each other, and person was also rude. But then that happened second time also. I'm talking about now personal things in business. Happened second time with the other person, but this time I had a contract, of course, because nothing without contract. You remember we talked in 2006-17, nothing without.
Yes, man.
So are your experiences with freelance designers like that also? Or?
Of course. This is why I basically say that everyone needs to have at least one person to count on. I mean, like I have my team at the moment. That is, if a freelancer screwed up, I basically gave them the job to my team, and they are finishing. So you need something. In my cases, when I started working freelancer, I was the guy who was actually managed to finish the job if they screwed up, and so on and so on. But what I suggest is always to have one person that you can count on, and this guy or girl to work with you and help you out with exactly the filling the gap.
How do you fight with those problems, because your company is losing money? How are you fighting with them? You have another guy, but you need also to pay another guy. How does that work?
Well, it's budget managing actually, because I know how much money I can get at the end. So I have few percents that I can throw in the garbage. Let's say. I mean, like risk money. I call them risk money. That I know that if I can give it the freelancer, he will not deliver, but I still will be on profit, and so on and so on. And also, I've turned everything into how to say production machine. So even they screwed up, they still giving me stuff, right? They're giving me sketches, they're giving me some unfinished work, but I have a way to make it finished or to put it in the workflow and to show it to the client. So usually works like that. It's you have strong designs among with the viewers. I call them viewers because you need to give them versions, and some of the designs are not that good, and so on and so on. But this is also a process, because the client can pick stuff from the viewers as well, can give you feedback from the viewers, and it can like unlock a whole new path for the design. So I basically have like percent of money for risk money, and I know that if the design screwed up, I have a plan how to fix it with my team, me included, to put their job in like a viewer, to put as a presentation, to ask question to the client, so on and so on. So I try to turn their job, let's say, into something that is can help the project to be end successfully.
So, how did you learn business? That's my question. You know that artists struggle with business part a lot. Like it's an imaginary unicorn, literally, for some of them. How did you learn business part?
Try and error. What I want to say to people who wants to try is just go into the deep, right? I basically had I did lots of mistakes. I lost money. I like worked without the contracts, like everyone else. People didn't pay me stuff, and so on and so on. But every time when I do a mistake, I try to find a way to not do it twice, or how to cover myself. So this is probably what gave me this. It's not a knowledge, it's more like how to say, like a structure, like a plan. uh, and books, of course, books. I want to say something very like a suggestion, a very interesting tip. Nowadays there is lots of like services that gave you opportunity to listen books, not read books, listen books, audiobooks. And I have one which I like a lot, and all the books, they have speed. So like the narrative is let's say a normal speed, but also you can increase the speed. And I always listen my books into double the speed, because this basically it's give you the opportunity to listen the whole book twice less time, right? It's very interesting. You should try it. It's a bit strange at the beginning, but when you start listening to books, first you remember the book more easily. For me personally, it's more easily I remember the book if I listen to, not reading. Second of all, with this speed up thing, I basically compress and listen more books, right? And there is lots of business books. Storytel is one service. Amazon Audible is another service. So yeah, so this is something that you can try.
That's quite interesting to try, but I'm just questioning myself. Would I speak twice the speed when I finish the book also because I get used to it? Or I don't know. It's strange.
I didn't get that. Sorry.
Would I speed up also talking 2 times after I read the book instead of like blah, 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 blah. So sorry, because you get your brain gets used to something and repeating it.
I don't know. I'm always been hyperactive. For me, it's not, I think an issue, because I really like a hyperactive guy. So I need to do few stuff simultaneously. I need to put something in motion. My energy, right? On festivals, I drink a lot, scream a lot. And this
You sound like a teenage girl when you're describing yourself.
Exactly. I am, like teenage boy in a 40 years old body. So almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but when you ask me questions, it's more like a feeling. I think the business people, they are born with that. I'm not saying that cannot be learned or something like that, but they have this sense of picking stuff and make a business from it, right? Because it's a sense. It's something like, okay, I see opportunity here. I will do that and that and that, and we'll make money. So I think it's more like a sense, not like something that I don't know, you can learn super well. Of course, probably people will prove me wrong, because they're self-made millionaires. This term.
Yeah.
People who are starting from zero and so on, but they still have the thinking. For me, the thinking is the best. Is the king. If you know how to think, you can do design, you can do business, you can do anything you want. And the way of thinking, and people are good technicians, but they're lazy in thinking. This is what I've
because thinking is hard.
It is to find a way to go out of your comfort zone, to do something else than just mechanically draw, right? Because let's face it, everyone with software, with like putting few years behind in learning techniques, can get into level that it's professional. But not everyone can jump from there, right? Can do something that is additional, and that's what is separating business people.
It's one of those interesting stuff when you start studying design or art. You come there, you think everybody is born with art skill. Normal people think that you are born with art skill. When I was 17 years, I drew stickmans. That's pretty much all I could draw. And then I learned everything till now, till 32. But it's a skill that you learn. I think after that I realized that you can learn anything, singing, and the more time you invest in it, the better you will become. It's same with children who are good at drawing when they are young. They're good at it because they started very young, drawing and testing and testing and testing, and that's how it works. And talent does exist. It does exist. It's in a small pieces, but talent will always die under hard work. There is no question about that.
Absolutely agree with you, man.
It's same. It's sorry for interrupting you. Thinking, for me, thinking is number one. If you learn how to think, you can't be bad at anything. You can't be bad because you will know how to dissect it, analyze it, and go around it. And but it's very hard to do that because people like to relax, and that's it pretty much.
Yes, and also I have about talent because I analyze it. What is actually talent? For me, talent is perception. People that are more talented, they basically understands faster the stuff. They see faster the stuff. For example, you need to learn this exactly thing, how to overpaint, how to draw, but they basically analyze it and see it before you and understand it better than you. This is for me talent. So I don't say that we don't wear it with genes, because also this is something that probably you inherited from your father, his father before that, and so on and so on.
I should have inherited, sorry for interrupting, I should have inherited bald head, but that didn't happen. I don't know who's my father, to be honest.
Come on, dude, come on.
I hope he's not listening to the stream.
Yeah, probably he's you lost your biggest fan.
My biggest fan. One of the reasons why am I good at what I do is that my father was never like other fathers. Yeah, man, you're doing everything good. He was always, this is shit, Darko. This is shit. You need to improve. He was very honest because stickman is shit. To be honest, like let's face it, drawing stickmans wouldn't help me survive in this industry. Like I can draw the best stickman in the world, but yeah.
But this is awesome. He was bringing you to the earth, because he was like flying. Yeah, my stickman is the best stickman ever.
It's one of the life things. He was, when I was growing up, he would always say, "Oh my God, Darko, this is so bad. This is so bad," about everything I did. And then I started becoming a bit more successful in design, and he would become even worse. He was even worse and worse and worse. But every time I would meet neighbors or somebody, they would all say, "Oh, your father is so proud of you," and I'm like, "What the hell? Every time I meet him, he hates me."
Yeah, this is act.
That's a true love. That's a true love,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's strange because I have two kids, right? And it's interesting because I am at the moment I'm in position that I need to, starting leading them in to somewhere. Like it's best if you find the talent that they have, or the how to say, the interest, and to start developing that. But I want to lead them in something, and my two choices are mathematics and drawing, because mathematics, is programming, drawing is designing, and also these two are very creative stuff that basically leads to business, because business is creative. It's nothing more. It's a way of you to be creative, to make something that can lead you to growth. So at this point, I'm not so sure how to treat them, to be the harsh father that say like, "Oh, this is shit. This stick man is shit." Yeah, or to be like the guy who is saying like, "Okay, this is amazing. Draw another 100. Draw another 100.
Now give me 50 push-ups, son."
And also, I'm not so sure, by the way, to lead them to the art, because for me, programming is the king. Dude, these guys, they basically can. I don't know. You cannot see programming. You just it's work or it's not working, right?
Yeah.
So exactly.
That's quite interesting. What you said. Yeah, it either works or it doesn't. You don't see it, like.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a friend programmer. He was like, "Okay, man, today I will just compile something or whatever he said, and I will probably just stay in the chair whole day and I will get money. And I was like, fuck, man, I need to draw like 10 sketches at the end of the day. Some guy who don't have the, probably the taste will look at them and say like, I don't like anything, and I need to draw another 10 sketches in the next day. We are basically screwed. The artists are screwed because everyone thinks that they when they see the art they understand it, and that's a problem.
Again, back to my father, he always said, I wish he's a mechanical engineer, and he always said for vehicles. And he would always say, I wish I had a major in mechanical engineering, but in space vehicles or stuff like that, so I wouldn't have to discuss with anybody about cars, because everybody knows about four things: cars, food, art, and sports. And everybody does it amazing in their head. Everybody does it amazing.
Exactly. That's an issue, man. It's very good saying. I don't know. You need to put it somewhere in the cast in the.
I put it later on Facebook. Please, nobody of the guests put it, please.
But yeah, you're very right. Unfortunately, the art is that is more easy to assimilate, to look at, to think that you're understanding. And this is the issue that our businesses face every day, because you basically, try to make from one point something that the audience will like, and the audience is not artists, because the game is played by gamers and casual people, people who are not into art schools. On the other hand, you want to do something super creative and super cool. So
Sorry for interrupting. What were you saying?
I don't know yet.
Okay, I wanted to say there is that notion in the art when people are starting that everybody's gonna be a Picasso, a Dali, Karl Lagerfeld, or anybody who was successful, and that they somehow, you imagine it, everybody like being happy with your art, and then you go to the high-end lunches and dinners. That's how people perceive art. But
yeah, you're selling paintings for 1 million, 2 million,
for 1 million.
Millions.
But what's probably to the mobsters, but what hides behind the curtain is that, and I'm very happy that I managed to understand that very young. The consumer at the end of the day of art, our art, is a gamer, as you said. Not art director, not person who has millions on his account. It's gamer. You need to dissect their brain and to know what they are thinking. So your design needs to speak to everybody on this earth who is using it. And many artists have that notion, I'm not understood. Trust me, you're understood. You just don't understand yourself.
Absolutely agree with you. It's how to say it, like, do you know, it's what is the most disappointing in let's say UI field. The best UI considered is the UI that people forget. This means that they're using it and it's not like popping out their eyes, not something that bothers them, because at the end they need to play the game, not to look at the screens and be lost in the screens and stuff like that. So for us, the best UI is the UI that gamers forget and they used to. So for me, it's the same for all the game art, because this is a product, right? And if I analyze myself when I play games, because I'm a gamer as well, very passionate one, and when I play games, I forget for the actual art, even if I'm artist, right? And I forget for the look in the textures, look in the technicalities, look in the concepts that are put. Yeah, of course, I enjoy when I see something interesting in the game, but it's for a second. And after that, I proceed playing the game because of the game, because of the game design, because of the level design, because of this stuff. So for me, people are putting too much, how to say, credit on what they do. Everyone wants, this is to be the best rock in the game because you're a rock artist. You do rocks.
Yeah.
This is the best. But at the end of the day, nobody's care. It's like they see the rock. They say, okay, probably interesting rock. They say like, yeah, it's a good rock, and they forget it
Yeah,
in
but
just a
I have to
second.
disagree on this. Somebody at the end of the day needs to do that rock, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
Somebody
course, I
needs to
don't.
do it at the end of the day. It's not, I mean, somebody wants to super polish it. I think maybe I've misunderstood, so I will ask you. You think that their attachment to that rock is too much? That they're making it
Yes,
like a
exactly.
superstar rock?
I don't want to underestimate. Yes, of course, everyone is trying. Even we in our UI, we do the best. We're trying to make interesting interfaces, like our passion and so on. But we don't put the exactly the weight of thinking that this is the best artist's work ever, right? Because this is a production art. The production art is something to fulfill the needs of the product. It's not so. We try to detach ourselves from the feeling of we need to overthink because this is the overthinking coming to think to detach ourselves from the thinking of we need to do the best thing ever. If we start thinking like that, we will start overthinking. This will extend the pipelines. We will not deliver anything. And yeah, so I think it's a bad thing to think ourselves as ultra, like artists, like the painters, Renaissance painters or something. I don't
Yeah.
know if I explained it well, but yeah, it was
Yeah, yeah,
like
you
cracking
explained it
this.
quite well, quite well. So we are finishing with the stream 1 hour.
Elitsa. That's Elitsa,
Yeah,
by the way.
I showed your team, and I'm coming back to show. This is. I will scroll
Yeah.
down to you, and we finish with this. So I will try to fit. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. Really
No
enjoy
worries, man.
talking
Pleasure.
about. I'm really happy that you joined, and I will try to make to make our exit of the stream in a way that you like. So prepare yourself.
Okay.
I will try to speak 2 times faster than usual.
Please
As a
do.
book,
Please
as a
do.
book. So, guys, thank you very much for coming. This is Bulgarian Serge Punchev, Darko Markovic, the Prince, DarMar, the Prince. You are leaving the stream. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, I can't.
No,
it,
actually, you're very good with that.
it was a very good try. Have a good
Yeah.
day. Hit the subscribe button. Okay, this was too fast. Too fast. But this was quite interesting. This was quite interesting stream because we talked about business, and I can't wait to see you again in Bulgaria, Serbia, Malta, anywhere we're gonna
Definitely.
meet.
Definitely. Hope this COVID thing ends sooner because with this lockdown, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See you guys and have a beautiful night day, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Bye.
Yes. Bye.